All right, diving in, we're tackling John chapter 7 and 8 this time.
Oh, these are good ones.
Yeah, Feast of Tabernacles.
Lots of tension.
So much tension.
Yeah,
You've got Jesus clashing with the religious leaders, this woman caught in adultery, and some big statements from Jesus.
Yeah, you really get a feel for the atmosphere in these chapters.
For sure.
John does an incredible job with that. You're not just reading about the conflict, like you're right there.
Right there in the middle of it.
In Jerusalem, feeling the heat, the crowds.
Yeah, almost like you can hear everyone whispering and judging.
Exactly.
And that leads us to one of those verses that really makes you think.
Oh, yeah.
When Jesus says, "If anyone is thirsty, let him come to me and drink."
That's a good one.
What's going on there, do you think?
Well, think about the context, right?
Okay, yeah.
It's the Feast of Tabernacles.
Uh-huh.
Water was a big deal during that festival,
Okay, yeah.
symbolizing God providing for them in the wilderness.
Right.
So when Jesus says, "Come to me and drink,"
It's deeper than just a drink of water.
way deeper, yeah.
Yeah.
He's offering himself.
Get living water.
Exactly. It's like he's saying you're looking for fulfillment in all the wrong places.
Yeah, come to me and I'll actually satisfy you.
Yeah.
And that thirst, both physical and spiritual, kind of sets the stage for that incredible story.
Oh, you mean the woman caught in adultery?
That's the one.
Powerful stuff.
John's really drawing a parallel here, isn't he?
Absolutely. He's intentional about that.
You've got the woman at the well back in chapter 4.
Right.
She wants water, but she's also searching for something more.
Like she represents all of us.
Thirsty for acceptance?
Thirsty for love, for a life that has meaning.
That's so true, isn't it?
I think so.
And then you have this woman caught in adultery.
Yeah, dragged before Jesus.
Almost like she represents all of us who have messed up, fallen short,
Definitely.
desperate for forgiveness.
And the religious leaders, they just want to condemn her.
Yeah, more focused on the law than on compassion. And that makes Jesus' response so powerful.
Oh, it's amazing.
He could have condemned her too, but he doesn't. Instead, he says, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone."
I love how he flips the script on them.
Yeah.
They're so focused on her sin.
Makes them face their own hypocrisy.
For sure.
He's not saying what she did was okay, though.
Not at all.
He tells her to go and sin no more.
Right, but there's grace there too.
A chance to start over.
Absolutely.
And it's right in the middle of all this judgment and grace, this need for light,
Yeah.
that Jesus says, "I am the light of the world."
Wow, what a statement.
Bold, right?
So bold. And don't forget, they were celebrating the Feast of Tabernacles.
With all those lights at the temple.
Huge candelabras illuminating everything.
So when he says, "I am the light of the world,"
He's claiming to be the true light.
the one who can get rid of the darkness.
Darkness of sin, ignorance, all of it.
He offers guidance and hope.
Yeah, in a world that feels so lost.
Not everyone loved that message, though, did they?
Oh, no, definitely not.
The Pharisees especially.
They were furious.
They saw it as a threat
A huge threat
to their authority, how they saw God.
to their whole way of thinking.
That's where things really escalate, don't they?
It's like a powder keg.
And it leads to that incredible moment where Jesus says,
Oh, wait. Cliffhanger.
"Gotta save it for part 2.
Keep everyone in suspense.
That's right. "Before Abraham was born, I am."
Whoa, hold on. He's not just saying
Oh.
he was around before Abraham.
Right? It's huge.
He's using that I am name.
The one God revealed to Moses.
Like he's saying, I'm not just another prophet.
Yeah.
I'm the one you've been waiting for.
The embodiment of God.
No wonder the Pharisees were so upset.
They saw it as blasphemy.
Totally rejecting everything they believed.
Think about what that means for us today, though.
Yeah, okay.
It means Jesus isn't just some historical figure.
He's the eternal I am.
Right here, right now.
That's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is. Like, he's not bound by time or space.
Always with you, no matter what.
But walking in the light, like, he calls us to do...
Yeah.
It's not always easy.
Not always, no.
There's so much that contradicts his teachings.
So much darkness.
It's easy to get caught up in all that.
The negativity, the judgment.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere you look, it seems like people are putting each other in boxes.
Labeling, condemning anyone who doesn't fit in.
But Jesus calls us to see things differently.
To break down those walls.
Embrace those who are different.
Offer forgiveness instead of judgment.
Just focus on the light, not the darkness.
It's funny you mentioned labels. I was just reading about that.
Oh, yeah?
How social media is like this breeding ground for judgment.
It's true.
Everyone's so quick to condemn.
Based on a tweet or a post.
Without knowing the whole story.
Yeah, we've forgotten how to give people the benefit of the doubt.
To extend grace.
But that's exactly what Jesus did.
With the woman caught in adultery.
He didn't see her as just a sinner.
He saw a human being.
Someone who needed love and mercy.
That's such a powerful reminder.
It is, isn't it?
It's easy to get caught up in our own self-righteousness.
Thinking we're always right.
But Jesus calls us to something higher.
To love that goes beyond our differences.
Grace that covers all our mistakes.
It's not about ignoring bad behavior.
Right.
It's about recognizing we're all broken.
We all fall short.
We all need a savior.
That's good. That's really good. But how do we actually live this out?
Yeah, that's the question.
It's one thing to read these teachings.
Right.
But how do we apply them in our lives?
In our families, our work, our communities.
It's a big jump.
It is a big jump.
Well, I think it starts with recognizing our own need for that light.
Yeah.
We can't reflect something we don't have.
Exactly.
So first, we got to let Jesus into those dark corners of our hearts.
Let him expose our own hypocrisy.
Our own need for forgiveness.
Like cleaning a dirty window.
You can't see clearly until you wipe away the grime.
And once that window is clean, the light can shine through.
I like that. And then we become conduits of his grace.
Yeah, we start to see people differently.
Not as objects to be judged.
But as souls to be loved.
Okay, I get it, but it still feels daunting.
I know what you mean.
There's so much darkness in the world.
There is.
How can we as individuals make a difference?
Well, think back to that woman caught in adultery.
Okay.
One act of grace.
One moment of compassion.
It can have a ripple effect.
We might not even see the full impact. What if everyone listening right now committed to reflecting Jesus's light?
Wow, that's powerful.
Like lighting a candle in a dark room.
One little flame pushing back the darkness.
Creating warmth and hope.
I love that image.
Me too. It's like, even though the world feels dark,
there's always potential for light.
To break through.
That's what Jesus is all about.
He is the light.
And he calls us to reflect that light.
Shine his love and grace into the dark corners of the world. You know, I've been thinking about something you said earlier about how Jesus calls us to see people differently.
Not as objects to be judged.
But as souls to be loved? That's a real challenge.
It is.
Especially when we encounter difficult people.
People who hurt us, make us angry.
How do we love those people?
That's a tough one. No easy answers.
Yeah.
But sometimes, the people who are hardest to love
are the ones who need it most.
Exactly.
Like those prickly cactuses in the desert.
They seem tough on the outside.
But they still need water and sunlight.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
Maybe that's part of walking in the light.
Seeing the needs of others.
Even when they're hidden.
Extending grace, even when it's undeserved.
Offering compassion, even when we don't feel like it.
Recognizing that everyone is fighting a battle.
A battle we know nothing about.
So next time someone rubs you the wrong way,
pause for a second.
Ask yourself, what might they be going through?
What's causing them to act this way?
It's easy to jump to conclusions.
But when we try to see things from their perspective,
it can totally change things.
Walk a mile in someone else's shoes, right?
More than that, even.
Trying to see the world through their eyes.
To feel what they feel, understand where they're coming from.
That takes empathy.
Stepping outside our comfort zones.
Connecting with another human being.
On a heart level.
It's not always easy, but it's at the heart of what it means to follow Jesus.
Putting others before ourselves.
Extending grace and mercy.
Seeing the image of God in everyone we meet. Seeing the image of God in everyone, that's powerful stuff.
It really is. Challenging, but powerful.
And it makes me think back to what we were talking about with those mini missions.
Yeah, those small acts of kindness and grace.
It feels doable, you know? Like we can actually make a difference.
Absolutely. It's not about fixing everything at once.
Right, just focusing on our little corner of the world.
Exactly. And imagine if everyone listening did that.
Wow. Yeah.
Think of the impact.
So many people choosing to reflect Jesus' light.
It's like that image we talked about before.
The candles in the darkness.
Each one pushing back the darkness.
Creating warmth and hope. It reminds me that even when things feel really dark, there's always that potential for light.
To break through.
And that's what Jesus is all about, isn't it?
He is the light.
The ultimate source.
And he invites us to be reflectors of that light.
Shine his love and grace out into the world. I keep thinking about that challenge.
To see people differently.
Yeah, to see them as souls to be loved.
It's hard, I know.
It is, especially when we meet people who are difficult.
People who hurt us.
Make us angry.
It's easy to write them off.
But how do we show them love?
Well, sometimes the people who are the hardest to love,
Yeah.
they're the ones who need it most.
I've heard that before, but it's hard to put into practice.
It is, no doubt.
What helps you?
Honestly. Sometimes I think about those prickly cactuses.
The ones in the desert.
Yeah, they seem tough on the outside.
You wouldn't want to hug one.
No, definitely not. But they still need water and sunlight to survive.
Oh, that's good.
Even the prickliest things need care.
So maybe that's part of walking in the light.
Seeing the needs of others.
Even when they're hidden under prickly exterior, extending grace, even when it's hard.
Offering compassion, even when we don't feel it.
Remembering that everyone is fighting a battle we know nothing about.
It's so important. We never really know what someone else is going through.
So the next time someone rubs you the wrong way,
take a breath.
Ask yourself, what might they be going through?
What's causing them to act that way?
It's like we were saying before, don't jump to conclusions.
Give them the benefit of the doubt.
Try to see things from their perspective.
It could change everything.
Walk a mile in their shoes.
More than that.
Trying to see the world through their eyes.
To feel what they feel.
Understand where they're coming from.
It's about empathy.
Stepping outside ourselves.
Connecting with another human being.
On a heart level.
And honestly, that's not always easy.
It's not, but it's what Jesus calls us to do, right?
I think
Putting others before ourselves.
Showing grace and mercy.
Seeing the image of God in every person we meet. That's the challenge.
It is, but it's also the invitation.
Oh, yeah. It makes me think about those words of Jesus again.
I am the light of the world.
Yeah, it's like he's not just making a statement.
It's an invitation.
To step out of the darkness.
Into his light.
To be changed by his love and grace.
And to become beacons of hope.
In a world that really needs it. And that invitation is for everyone, isn't it?
It is, no matter where we've been or what we've done.
No matter how far we've strayed.
It's never too late to turn towards the light.
And the more we let his light fill us,
the brighter we shine.
So as we wrap up this deep dive
into John chapters 7 and 8,
I want to leave you with this question.
How will you reflect Jesus' light today?
What small act of kindness, compassion, or forgiveness can you offer?
Remember, even the smallest spark
can ignite a flame that lights up the world.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
We hope you'll keep exploring these chapters.
And let their message transform your life.
And until next time, keep